Hello, welcome to my video essay on the role of online activism and the internet in Nigeria's NSAS movement. I was inspired to make my essay on this topic based off the discussions that we've been having in class about the role that the internet and social media has played in shifting the relationships between the citizens and the state, but also our discussions on affective relationships and affective publics and how they can serve as fuel for resistance movements as well as preserving the memories of those movements after. So, welcome to my video and I hope you enjoy it. The NSAS movement were a series of protests and civil disobedience campaign that broke out all over Nigeria in 2020. They were essentially in protest to a particularly brutal arm of the Nigerian police called the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, or SARS for short, hence the name NSAS. SARS has been accused of multiple violations of human rights, sexual assault, as well as murder of innocent citizens. Although the movement started as a decentralized campaign, largely online, it quickly grew into a widespread street protest demanding institutional reform, not just on the matter of the police, but generally in other ailing sectors of the Nigerian society. The protest also got immense international attention. Although the success of the movement is debatable, the NSAS movement marked a one of a kind period of resistance in Nigerian history, as the use of internet and the social media in that movement changed the nature of the relationship between citizens and states, especially as it relates to when one rebels or resists the other. Places like Twitter and Instagram created new forms and mode for pent up dissent among the Nigerian youth to come out. And this took the form of memes, of criticisms, but also making mockery of the government. The point of mockery is particularly uh, fresh in my mind because there was a funny meme that went viral at that time of an angry protester who had called Buhari, the president of Nigeria, a bad boy.
And I feel like they're angry because we're coming out here as lazy Nigerian youths to ask to protest because it's our right to exercise now. Why are you shooting at us? Why are you shooting at us? I mean, just started though. We just said we will still tackle Buhari. He has been a bad boy. He has been a bad boy. And I feel like they're angry because we're
In that
coming out
same
here
clip,
as
she
lazy
also
Nigerian
said
youths to
that the government
ask
should
to
watch out
protest because it's our
and
right
that
to exercise
we,
now.
the
Why are
citizens
you
of
shooting at
Nigeria, will
us?
subject
Why
them
are you
to
shooting at us? I mean,
international
just started
disgrace.
though. We just said we will
And in
still tackle
international
Buhari. He has been
disgrace,
a
she
bad
was
boy.
referring to the tendency of the protesters to publicly criticize the government and expose its wrongdoings on social media, again, principally Twitter. This form of activism, posts, tweets, live updates, and their consequent generation of affective connections to the cause within Nigeria, but also outside Nigeria, were particularly crucial to political mobilization for the movement. Hashtag NSAS was used in over 28 million tweets that were generated within and outside Nigeria. Instagram was also ablaze with posts bemoaning the government, giving updates from the protests front, aid requests, and advice in dealing with tear gas and other protest emergencies. These platforms were also used to encourage protesters and to boost the morale on ground. Diasporic Nigerians and other supporters of the cause also used the platform to show their support and spread crucial information as well as campaign for donations. Another interesting dynamic that came up as a result of the widespread use of social media in this movement was that it stripped the government of its traditional monopoly, or I would say pre internet era monopoly, on narrative creation, especially narrative creation in conflict times, targeted at calming the agitation. Because whenever the government will come out with a falsehood, like nobody was shot, Nigerians would respond with live footage and videos and images from the protest ground showing people dying on live stream. Of course, these images were very moving and contributed to garnering international attention and support, including from celebrities like Nicki Minaj, Kanye West, Rihanna, Chris Brown, and their dearest colleague, Hillary Clinton. So, the social media created a loop. It put online activism and on ground mobilization in a self reinforcing pattern where the existence and persistence of one ensured the continuity and strength of the other. Another dimension is that this form of protest, the NSAS protest, ushered in a new era of social media political dissent organizing in Nigeria. This was true due to the existence of multiple organizations coordinating the protest online, but this was specifically the case for Feminist Coalition, a non-profit organization also known as FEMCO, which found itself thrust with the responsibility of unofficially directing a portion of the movement. Within weeks, they had set up mechanisms to receive local and international donations to fund the protest efforts. They had set up response mechanisms to calls for emergency legal and medical aid. And when the government blocked a few of their bank accounts, they were able to circumvent that restriction by receiving donations via Bitcoin. Again, another testament to the way that internet activism and the existence of politics on the internet changes the way that citizens are able to respond to the state, especially in resistance. It would be wrong, though, to make this video without acknowledging that the government also benefited from the use of the internet. Besides, the internet is merely a recreation, or to some extent, a recreation of real life. Some skeptics allege that the government planted agents to promote divisive narratives during the protests in order to delegitimize the cause. But most importantly, the Nigerian government in 2020 put a ban on Twitter to calm the spread of the dissent. Granted, this move was limited in its efficacy because many Nigerians simply turned to VPN to continue accessing Twitter. But this again shows the new forms of negotiations and power struggles between the state and its bid to enforce authority on the internet and the citizens in their bid to evade and oppose the state on the same internet. Both parties are able to take advantage of the benefits that the internet provides, including anonymity, the wide reach, international attention. What is the legacy of the NSAS protest? Well, it's hard to say. While the SARS, the particular division, was scrapped, many critic forward that this was a symbolic movement, as the actual officers involved in the SARS section were simply reabsorbed into other parts of the police. Furthermore, um, Furthermore, investigative councils were set up to look into allegations of police brutality during the protest. However, nothing is yet to come out of those endeavors at the moment. So many Nigerians believe those were shams put in place just to appease the youth who were protesting at the time. Whatever the case may be, it is clear that the flame is not yet dead, as there's a tradition of remembrance of the NSAS movement, especially the massacre, the Lekki massacre, where multiple Nigerians lost their lives. The events of the NSAS protests were also used for political mobilization in the 2023 presidential election, where the youth used the failures of the government to protest and advocate against it in favor of a new candidate who unsuccessfully did not win, but however put up the toughest opposition to the incumbent government that has existed in Nigeria in the last 16 years. So perhaps there is some hope. Perhaps Nigeria in its experience of developing an online internet powered form of administering movements has built a particular competency that will come into use in the future. But that is yet to be decided. Only time will tell. But one thing remains sure: Nigerians will never forget, and every year they commemorate the event.
I'm speaking on behalf of my brother who died from this protest. Ayodunbe Gabriel Ayola. He was shot in the head.
Fellow Lagosians, we have not recorded any fatality as against the widespread circulation on social media.
Let them shoot, let them shoot. No problem. Let them shoot, let them shoot. Everyone sit down, sit down, sit down.
He was shot in the head. He was shot in the head. He was shot in the head. I'm
Surely
speaking on
Nigerians will
behalf
never
of my
forget.
brother who died
time
from
will
this protest.
Where the
Ayodunbe
competency
Gabriel Ayola.
and the
He was
changes
shot
brought
in the head.
to the Nigerian society by this particular movement is going to manifest. For now, we remain hopeful. Thank you for your time.